traditional language, there's evidence to show that we have no comparable or word for disability. That is an amazing thing. That's something we should be very proud of. It shows that disability has always been part of the human experience, and we've got a lot of evidence now that proves that.
The research we did, which was the first time ever in Australia, no one had gone out and just spoke to people with disability. So culture is inclusion is about allowing people wherever they are at that time and place, wherever they are geographically, whether that's, metropolitan, rural and remote, but their culture is foremost. And that's what the conclusion was. When people are allowed to participate within their own communities, be part of a cultural group, there are no barriers. It's once they leave that cultural group, that community, that the barriers start happening in their life for participation.
The history of disability rights in Australia and around the world, for that matter, is not a very good one at all. So when the English came, they brought with them their view of disability, which was essentially about locking people away and creating institutions. We say we want to move beyond that into a culture of inclusion, which is what our culture is, which is more come as you are. And what we need to do is then adapt so that they can participate in community life.
Yidaki is used as a healing tool. It has been for thousands of generations. People think it's just an instrument, but in fact, people used this to do a lot of frequency healing, vibrational healing. I bumped into Militia. She told me about JJ and his journey.
Doing this therapy with JJ has helped me understand him as a cultural man in our family, and you start to see the changes in him during the process of this therapy, not just mentally but also physically.
The healing is appropriate from my culture. It's my identity. The judo healing is important.
When I first come on board, I see a shy young man, I've seen a shy young man, but just getting to know him and spending that time and building that rapport with him, I think that's very important. That I've seen changes in him, and I've seen growth in him. And I've seen how proud sometimes, like most of the times when I'm doing cultural stuff, like painting the clapsticks, and he just started opening up. And then I started getting him to do grass skirts. And he was like, just moving his hands, and then after you could see the expression on his face and the energy. He's like, wow, I've done something.
Mainstream medical teams could learn a lot from First Nations here in Australia of how that healing takes effect in their long term, with being part of country and, especially someone with a disability connecting again to the country, being in a whitenised, medicalised situation in a hospital to a home run with support workers and doctors and nursing team. I think getting them out and being part of our country gives them a sense of who they are.
It vibrates through my body in the way, and my feet. My didgeridoo bring me back to me.
We have to support people with from grassroots level, I think, through disability, and that's something the Western world doesn't have, I think we have the answers. Just support us, get behind us, and you can't write out a program that's for an Indigenous person, man or woman. That has to be written by a community of people on that level down here.
They took Mum to court to get ward of states.
State, yep.
I was about 14 months old then. My sister was just born, three months old, something like that.
Yep.
And we stayed there for almost 12 months. We were whipped. We were starved. We only had porridge for breakfast. We starved the rest of the day. And we were sexually abused by the women while having a baths up there in the old tin bathtubs. So stayed there for almost 12 months, and then my mum come and got us. She cried when she seen the state we were in.
Yeah.
She said, "What did they do to my babies?" And that's what my book is going to be about.
Well, you're writing a book, aren't you?
Yep.
It's going to take a little while.
Yep.
It's about 47 paintings, I think.
Yeah, altogether, yep.
It's going to be paintings.
Yeah, and stories.
Sounds like art has been a real big healer for you.
Yes, it has been. It makes me feel good.
Yeah.
Nowadays I enjoy. I was numb. I enjoy the feelings that I'm getting now. You know, I can hear the birds. I can smell the grass, and I can, just a good feeling, a really good, peaceful feeling now. I find that discovering history too, the impact that the government has had on the Aboriginal people, they traumatised us. Terrible. Now we got to fight back to get that all back. That through, we need empathy, kindness and compassion towards one another.
That's what this is about.
Yes. Yeah.
Auntie, what messages would you say to mob with disability that might be doing it hard?
Like what I was talking about it with my children. If we could come closer to our children, do workshops with our children and that.
It was the 70s when I was staying at this hostel, and there was a lot of it. There was a broom mob there, and I got to mix with people who were gay there. Well, I knew that there was something different about me, but I got to know all about the language from their mob, and to know who I was. And I went through it, all that as I was young and growing up in my teens, but I still didn't know what LGBT was, and I just did everything that everybody else did. But came back to Derby and never shared it with anybody. Kept that side of, just did stuff here in Derby. When I had back to Perth, then I could learn a bit more about that, stuff down there. But I never came out until 1993 when I met these young guys. Robert worked at the AIDS Council, putting an Aboriginal program together for Aboriginal people who wanted to go to the AIDS Council to see an Aboriginal person, because all Australians run it, and they always perceived that they knew all about blackfellas when they really didn't, and they wouldn't go. And when Robert started, they started coming along. When we was in the Pride, we was wheeling all over the place, here, there, touching all the people here and there, touching all the... and we were having a ball, weren't we? Yeah, that same night. People accepted people for who they are, and that was great. My sister, like when I told her I'm going to the Pride and I'm going to be a nun, oh, you can't do that because she's Christian lady, oh, you can't do that, blah, 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 blah. When I came back and showed her the photo, old girl was laughing then.